Hello, welcome to season 14 of my Torquay United FM save. We are the Champions League holders, we're the FA Cup holders for the second time in 3 years. So we've got to defend those two and then try and get closer to win the league. We were very close last season, quite close the season before. We're now predicted third. I'm still doing this with a positive net spend. Literally, I get no budget per season. I just have to work with what I got and work with what I sell to invest in best players. And it's gone well. My right winger, who's kind of fallen to the fringes of the team, was very good a few seasons ago, was an absolute star. I sold him for 20 million to PSG, kind of sort of declined or just hit his ceiling whilst other players continued to develop, and he didn't play as much. But yeah, 20 million because he was unhappy, moved him off. He was on a big wage as well. I loaned out 2 youngsters as well as selling this guy. This is a defender who came, didn't play loads, and I sold him back to Boca Juniors for a lot of money. So I'm for 34 million, rising 41. With that money, I signed one player, and he was more of a future prospect. 38.5 million, England on 21 from Everton, looked really promising. And yeah, so he's like second, third choice winger, and that was it. Because I had no money. I didn't see any players that were better than what I currently had. And all the keys. And I carry on with the 4-3-3, which worked at the end of the season. If it stops working, I go back to a 4-2-3-1. That's the team. It's spectacular. And it's just won the Champions League. So on to the season. Instantly, the season started in a successful way. We won our second Community Shield in our history. Jack Day, the club legend, breaking through, scored on his right foot to make it 1-0 against Man United before a lovely ball through in the 43rd minute. Ben Rosa broke through my right back, been for years, and we won 2-0. Great way to start the season. It's just important to win trophies and have a winning mentality. So I'm always very into trying to win a Community Shield, and we could even win the double a week later when we play a Super Cup. We began our Premier League campaign with a very good 3-0 win at Brighton before we played Tottenham in the Super Cup, the winners of the Europa League. Didn't start well though. In the 10th minute, Tottenham scored from a set piece. Disappointing goal to concede, really. But then on a stroke of half time in the first half, Christian got forward on the left-hand side. Lovely ball into the box. Jan Bellard, the star striker from France, made it 1-1. They would stay that way for a long time until the 77th minute when we finally got the breakthrough to go into the lead for the first time. As we're looking, it is a double in my eyes. Lovely ball in, and my second choice striker who won me the Champions League last season. Made it 2-1. He then put the free kick in, which was finished by my centre-back, my Serbian centre-back, to make it 3-1. We've won the Super Cup and we've won a Community Shield. So the Super Cup's another trophy done. So we've just got a League Cup and the Premier League now, and the Club World Championship Cup, which will be in at the end of the season as well. To the league, we won 2-1. The last-minute winner meant we've won 2 out of 2 games before disappointing. Bournemouth was our bogey team in this, but we lost 1-0 to them in the league. So the invincible season's over. 3-0 win against Villa, though, which was good, and then a 4-1 win of the League Cup third round against the League. Meant that despite the defeat, decent start, 4th place. Bournemouth, though, looking good. They're the team that beat us. Man United trying to retain the title from last season. Man City, they beat on goal difference, if I remember, and then they beat us by a point as well. Burnley making a good start. Liverpool there as well. And yeah, interesting. Let's see if we can push on. 1-0 win at Burnley. 4-0 win in our first Champions League game, our defence of the Champions League in the group phase. 2-0 win against Brentford. 3-0 win in the next one. And a 1-0 win at Man City. I'm not saying this is our year. Is this going to be our year? Because we've been top of the table after about 9 games. I think 2 of the last 3 seasons, or the last 2. But Man United look very strong. Ideally, you need a season where one of them is going to fall apart. And if Man United did fall apart in the second half of the season a couple of years ago, we just need that season when they don't start well is my only worry. But we can only do what we can do. We've looked solid. We've done our bit. Lots of it in Bournemouth, as you do. But Bournemouth also looked very strong. So maybe that result wasn't as bad as we thought. But yeah, exciting stuff. And we won our first 2 Champions League games as well. Players all playing well. My left back's getting a little bit unhappy now because Christian has started to play more. It's only problem left back's been with me for ages. And yeah, and Jack Day's disappointed he's been left at the England squads. But my players is incredible. Don't let the fact that these players are 3-star fool you. It's because some of the players are incredible. But yeah, the 4-3-3, as soon as that stops working, we'll go back to 4-2-3-1 or 4-2-4 maybe. We followed up that brilliant win against Man City with a 3-1 win against Arsenal, a 4-2 win in Champions League. Disappointing 1-1 draw at Newcastle where we could see the 90th minute. But then we won 4-0 at Leicester in the League Cup 4th round. But then a really annoying 1-0 defeat home to Liverpool. But then beat Real Madrid 1-0 in the Champions League. Again, we'll win every game in the group stage. And then we drew 2-2 at Chelsea, which meant down to 3rd place. Man United looking really strong. Man City as well. Looks a similar story to last year. Bournemouth having a good season. Sunderland as well. Newcastle much better after winning the title 2 years ago and almost getting relegated last year. Then Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool struggling. Liverpool just beat us as well. Leicester at the bottom. Yeah, it's going as well as you sort of thought it would do, really. Champions League doing well. Just got to keep with the two Manchester teams and hope we beat them. But again, I was hoping them to have stumbled this year, but it doesn't look like it is at the moment, as Robert Lewandowski has lost his job at Liverpool. So yeah, we play Ryan Mason Southampton next. 3-0 win to Southampton, followed by disappointing defeat in the Champions League, even though we're well on the way to going through. 4-0 win against Wolves and a very impressive 4-2 win at Leeds. Men up to second place after 14 games. We're 11 points from Man United. We just got to keep up with them. We've just got to keep up with them and try and beat them at the last minute. Yeah, it's been a really good season. Don't forget, we've won the Super Cup. We've won the Community Shield already. So we've got on about still in the League Cup. Champions League going well. Absolutely fantastic start. My number 10's got 10 goals already this season. He's playing on the right wing. But I did switch to a 4-2-3-1 because I felt when we had a little bit of a wobble, it just really helped. I just go 4-3-3, it stops working. 4-2-3-1 stops working. It's a bit how it's going in this save, to be honest. But Juan Miguel, just such a good player in the Champions League and everything last season. 70 million I spent on him. Just these players coming in, they're so good. Some memorable people. Beat West Ham 4-0. To keep our title charge going. Won 3-0 at Ajax in Champions League group phase before we travel to Old Trafford for a huge game in the title race. We went into this game level on points still, just between us and them at the moment, and it started amazingly. What a strike! But the XY United played a Japanese start of my team. However, it didn't last long. In the 90th minute, Man United came forward. Boothby found Ewan Ferguson a pain in my backside in this save. But then the 38th minute got even worse. Set piece not dealt with. Just you can see so many set piece goals, it feels like times. But at the hour mark, we got back onto it. I was taking a point in this game. Taking that point. Lovely move. I'm right back getting for Rosier 2-2. But then the amount of late goals you can see at Old Trafford, eh? In the 86th minute, Man United broke our hearts to go on to win the game 3-2 and open up a 3-point lead. Nice move by them. Didn't get tight enough. Fired at the front post, and that was that. We bounced back with a 1-0 win at Tottenham in the quarterfinal of the League Cup for winning 2-0 against them in the league. 1-0 at Sunderland in the league, and then 5-0 against Leicester in the league, which meant we're still 3 points behind them. This is what I mean. It's just impossible to beat Man United at the moment. You've just got to wait for them to have an off season because we have 44 points from 19 games. It's pretty decent. Look at the gap between us and third and fourth place. You know, two teams that have been close and won titles recently. Sunderland up in fifth as well. What a season they're having. But yeah, not great. Chelsea's still struggling down in 16th. And just frustrating, really. We're doing really well, though. Doing really well in the Champions League. We're second place at the moment, 2 games to go in that sort of phase. I think just a win and a draw would seal us right through to the last 16, which is crucial. Going into the calendar year of 2037, we drew 2-2 at Everton in the FA Cup third round before we held Man City in the first leg of a semi-final of the League Cup. 2-0 win at Norwich back in the Premier League. 2-0 win against Everton in the replay of that third round game. 3-0 win at home to Bournemouth. Terrible 4-1 defeat at home to Porto in the Champions League. And then a 2-1 win against West Ham in the FA Cup fourth round meant that we were second in the league still. Not much has changed there because we only replayed a couple of league games in that. And we need a result at Milan in the last game. A draw should probably do it. A win would definitely do it. The main thing to get through that last 16 to stay if you're having 2 games and risk of going out in the last 32. And yeah, and then we have the second leg of the League Cup semi-final soon as well. 2-0 at Milan, but unfortunately that meant we didn't finish in the top 8 of the phase, which meant we go to the last 32. The Leeds were still through though. We did win a Champions League last season, so we're still defending champions and we're still in it. That's the main thing. And a very disappointing 1-0 defeat at Villa really put another dent into our title ambitions. We smashed Man City in the League Cup semi-final second leg, which set up a League Cup final. Can we finally win the League Cup in this? 1-0 win at Brentford was very important before we went to Atletico Madrid in the last 32. We took an early lead in the second minute. A corner into the box was not dealt with by Atletico. Well, I say not dealt with. It was a calamitous howler by their keeper. But they did equalise on a penalty spot in the 22nd minute. And we were then reduced 10 men in the second half, but we drew 1-1. And that is a good result. Man City then got revenge on us. 1-0 defeat at home. Really, really dented. Which really, if I'm honest, didn't end our title ambitions, but we're 7 points off now. Yeah, it's just the same that happens every year. It's we start really well, and then there's the bad run of form comes, and it came a bit later than it usually does. It usually comes around December, but it's just an influx of games, the FA Cup maybe, the Champions League. The squad's big enough to deal with it, but just a few players aren't quite on form. A few players are a bit unhappy with not playing as much, maybe a bit complacent. We won trophies last season. It's very hard to keep those wins and those mentalities going. There was movement in the January transfer window just before the last couple of results. And Bellard, a player who's been very, very good for me, but started to slowly go down the pecking order and get a little bit unhappy, went to Real Madrid for 60 million. Scored 3 goals in 15 this season. He wasn't quite hitting it, 13 before. And he dropped to my second choice, playing the Faroe Islands lad who won me the Champions League last season. So 60 million came in. With that 60 million, just a little bit of rebranding in the squads. Signed this left back in from Genk for 26.5 million, just in case Charlie Hartley, my long-term left back, gets really unhappy that he isn't playing as much. I'm trying to play him more. So he'll come in, probably with him 6 months, and now I loan him out next season, making my second choice. Primel came in, just a wonder kid, centre back. He's 18 years old and a good Premier League division player already, 7.75 million. I signed a Slovakian lad called Boris as another striker, 18 finishing, 18 first touch, and he only cost 1.3 million. So that is kind of my Jan Bellard replacement. And then splashed 20 million on a wonder kid midfielder. He'll be around the squad and I might loan him out in a couple of years. We then played the second leg against Atletico Madrid, drawing 1-1 away. And the home side, it was 0-0 to the 71st minute when Peter Kovacic made it 1-0, the legend in the number 10 slot, put us in the leads. It was a really tight game, but Atletico Madrid came forward in the 85th minute, brought the ball in, just wasn't dealt with, and it was 1-1 in the 85th minute. We're staring down the barrel of extra time. There's something we don't really need at the moment, despite our pretty big squad. But Ben Rosa came forward in the 92nd minute. Chris Sinnott provided a goal for Boris, Slovakian Boris. Chris Sinnott, or my youngsters, Boris, my new striker, I signed for 1.2 million from his worth, and it got even better where Sinnott himself made it 3-1. That was really important because it just shows the new players I'm integrating who are going to be a big part of the future of the club if we kept it going, if we keep it going, is going to, yeah. And the fact they're already scoring goals now, that was crucial, especially with the squad really stretched at the moment. So that was really important. Into the Champions League last 16 and Champions League defence. We then played Man United in the League Cup final. I haven't won a League Cup yet, so it's important for me. I'll try and get one, and it went brilliantly. 85th minute, Elliot made it 1-0 after a stalemate. We were there. We were so close to winning it. And then in the 90th minute, this happens. Ball over top. What a finish. I was gutted. And then in the 94th minute, yeah. We've been a treble as well, actually. Don't say it's not a treble. Super Cup, Community Shield, League Cup, the worst treble of all time. Just sums up how the season's gone. So close, but so far. And then we went out of the FA Cup after extra time at Brentford. All these late games, it's just not working. Got worse. 2-0 defeat at Liverpool. Definitely ended our title and ended a very bad February before we played Villarreal in the Champions League last 16. At this point, I went, right, I'm playing 4-2-4 because I love playing 4-2-4 in saves. And that instantly backfired after 4 minutes when it just means my team forgot to defend. We went 1-0 down in a home leg at home to Villarreal. But in this 4-4, I played Slovakian Boris and Vinjar, the Faroe Islands legends. Also got Linden, that Belgian winger, can play up front. And Boris scored to make it 1-1. He's actually a good Boris, this one. And Jack Day brought forward Cloverton. A bit of a quiet season. Vinjar made it to Boris 2-1. That is the partnership now. It's been a poor month, which has ruined that season, but we're still in the Champions. We're still in the Champions League. So I'll say if we can win back-to-back Champions League, it'd be amazing. But Dutch midfield, fine Boris. We got a bit foul, but Vinjar made it 3-1 to give us lead in the 49th minute, which was crucial. Villarreal made it 3-2 from the penalty spot, but it would stay that way in the first leg. We then battered Chelsea 4-0. Boris has got 4. He's on an shabbing. Yeah, 4-2-4 is going to be the way forwards. Let's just try and outscore teams. We've got the players for it. It doesn't really change what players are playing because my number 10 can play on the wing anyway. And yeah, the second leg, we came from behind to win 2-1 against Villarreal, which put us into the Champions League quarter-final. Disappointed 1-1 draw at Southampton. The title's way gone now. It's just about getting a top 4 finish. Beat Brighton 3-0. Drew 2-2 at the Emirates. Disappointing late goal. Beat Wolves 3-1 though. In the 47th minute, lo and behold, a set piece. Brian Figueroa made it 1-0, my star centre-back. In the 60th minute, it got even better. TORQUAY v Barcelona. That's such a funny game to say. Vinjar from Jack Day's ball, past Seaman to make it 2-0, which is crucial. And it got even better. Well, it almost got better in the 70th minute, and it did. crosses the box. Jack Day on the right wing, likes playing this game, 3-0, the club legend. He's still been great. Barcelona did get a crucial goal back from a set piece, but it would end 3-1 in the first leg. We then beat Leeds 3-1, which sets us up lovely. Boris again scoring, what a guy, which sets us up nicely for the away leg at Barcelona. Remember, 3-1 lead, what could go wrong? In the 5th minute, Barcelona were keen to make it a nervy tie. Balde got through, my defence fell asleep and made it 1-0, which was really disappointing. Which meant we're still ahead on aggregate. But then, yeah, the inevitable happened. Barcelona absolutely had us after 17 minutes. I did try tweaking things, made it 2-0. This is disappointing. We just caught cold in these games. In the 56th minute, we were sent back in 3-0 by Smith, which meant they went ahead on aggregate, which was an absolute disaster. But we weren't done. 70th minute, nice move forward. Calgary, lovely ball through. Found Boris, who does what he does. Pass Seaman 3-1, and we took it to extra time. Unfortunately, though, in the 105th minute, Jack Rogers made a great tackle, but reset, that's what I'm calling him, put the ball in. My keeper parried it only as far. Disappointing goals conceded as Cassis, and we went out the Champions League 4-1 after extra time. And if that doesn't sum up the season, I don't know what. So close, really good results, but just silly late goals. Going out of Champions League extra time, going out FA Cup on extra time, losing the League Cup final in the last minute. We were in the title race, a dead heat, until we lost that Old Trafford in the last minute. We never really recovered. So it's going to be a major trophy this season. Also, we won the Super Cup and the Community Shield, but that's basically from last season's success. So it's been a disappointing season, actually. At the end of the day, this is a club that has been run on a positive net spend. I have no money. The club is still just not giving me anything. I've built a great team. Was the Champions League the peak? I don't know. All we've got to do, get through to the end of the season and see how we go. We beat West Ham 2-1. These are all dead rubber games now, really. Drew 0-0 against Newcastle. Battered Man United 3-0 when the pressure was off. Boris scoring, but at least this 4-2-4 shows it's working at times. 2-0 defeat at Tottenham. I just thought the players were gone by now. 3-0 win against Burnley, 2-2 draw at Sunderland, and a 3-1 win at Leicester to end things. My old striker Angel Valencia scoring against me. Meant I come 3rd place, 81 points. It's respectable, again, as I say, with the financial sort of restraints I have. But you might notice something here, hang on a minute. Chelsea relegated with Leicester. I mean, yeah, that's interesting. I've seen Tottenham relegated before in FM, but I've never really seen like a Chelsea relegated, and it's only 2037. So I say only, like I haven't spent 14 seasons of my life on this game. But yeah, so Chelsea relegated with Brentford and Leicester. Very interesting. Jack Day's old team. Yeah, Arsenal 7th, Sunderland 5th, fair play, Newcastle back 4th. And yeah, Man United won the league game, 93 points. There's no stopping them this season. So yeah. However, club vision. Supporters are disappointed me. They're disappointed I didn't win the Premier League. I agree. I think this club should be getting close or winning the Premier League. However, I can just imagine the situation where there'd be loads of supporters going, oh, SWNe out. He can't win his Premier League, even though I've just literally won the Champions League the year before. Because they've all like jumped on the bandwagon, you know, where fans from like now times would be like, hey, bloody dick in the top leagues. But I can't lie to you. Yeah, it was a disappointing season. Like it's still a great achievement. Got to the quarter-final of the Champions League. Bit more game management from me, maybe. Might have got to the semi-final. But yeah, and I feel like next season is going to be a big season, and I feel the pressure could definitely be on me. But my aim is to win the Premier League next season. And if I haven't, I've failed. But we've got the Club World Championship to look forward to at the end of this season, which you'll see at the start of next one. And it's going to be a big 15th season. I feel like there's going to be a bit of pressure on me. I've got 40 million transfer budget from signings already that I had over, so they never put anything in for me. But yeah, interesting. But there we are. Thank you for watching. Kind of a disappointing season in the end, but we won the double. We won the Super Cup and the Community Shield. Come on, another 2 trophies in the bank. And I'll see you in season 15.